Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to my subscribers' lessons about IELTS exam. It's the batch one of Saturday morning. As you might be aware, IELTS exam has important components like listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And obviously, in order to get good score in IELTS exam, you have to have good understanding and you have to be aware of all the rubrics, all the techniques and strategies. But as you might be or not, everyone knows those things. So from my classes or lessons, you'll be able to learn it. You'll be able to develop yourself. You'll be able to be confident to talk, confident in writing, confident in listening and reading. Please bear in mind that the best British teachers or the American teachers can always give you the lessons, but at the end of the day, it's you who have to practice. Okay, at the end of the day, it's you whose primary target is to get the required score and to get the uh, your success wherever you are. If you're applying for a student visa to study in the English-speaking countries, or if you're planning to migrate English-speaking countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, or any other European countries, your primary target is to get required score. And the best way to do is that by practicing, by taking sample test or mock test, and by practicing with a qualified and competent teacher. Please, guys, remember that these lessons are just only for guidelines. If you don't practice, if you don't study by yourself, there's no way a teacher can help you. Okay, but obviously these classes are so informative, you can get lots of information. But what are you going to do after having the information? You say you have to apply those things. If you know something from today from anyone, it could be any student, it doesn't matter that it should be a teacher. There are many amazing students on this app who are really knowledgeable, who are really amazing, who are really very good speaker. Okay, you can learn from anyone. But remember, once again, after learning, you have to apply it. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you're going to forget. That's how our human brain is constructed, that we can't remember everything. Picture it. If you could remember each and every incident, then we will be, you would be painful. You would be worried because of this previous, you know, failure stories, sickness, pain, anxiety, depressions, and load of things. So in that case, I must say that that is really good feature that we can forget those things from the past. And human adaptation is another quality through which we can move on. So guys, this is the cue card information. So there are four components which are assessed in the IELTS speaking task. So you must be aware there are three tasks in the speaking section: task 1, task 2, and task 3. Task 1 is the normal conversation between the examiner and the candidate. Task 2 is called cue card, where you will be given a topic with some questions and you have to talk at least 2 minutes. And remember that to jot down or point out all the thoughts or ideas what you're going to talk. Okay, and after that, obviously, it is your opportunity to express yourself. And I'm going to share some speaking techniques so that you know what to do and how to express yourself during the real life exam of IELTS. Okay, I'll be back just in 1 second, guys. I'll be back in a moment, guys. So don't leave the live stream. Hello, Stella. Welcome.
Hello, teacher.
Welcome, Stella. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm all right. So, Stella, did you discuss the writing techniques last week?
Yes.
And how do you feel about it?
Oh, the class was great, but uh, actually, I'm still not sure about my writing skills. Sometimes I can't describe some of the questions. Some of the questions.
Questions like what?
Like uh, comparing comparing some things in detail mm,
Mm-hmm.
and also sometimes I have mixed opinions. To be more specific, if the questions want me to uh, express my opinion, whether I agree or disagree, sometimes I can't write it because I only partially agree and partially disagree at the same time.
Okay. So, uh, what I understand from your conversation that if you understand, then there should be some ideas about it. So, in order to get ideas, I always suggest that because I've got exam next month, to read as much as possible so that you can get some ideas from anywhere about any topic. Okay,
Okay.
like you see, hang on a second. Okay, do you remember you discussed last week about the one writing task?
Yes.
Okay, one moment. I'm trying to get. Oh, my folder is closed. Just a moment, please. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's taking time. I don't know the reason why. Okay, so when you get the topic, uh, then as you know that time is a very important factor in IELTS exam. Okay, and obviously you don't have much time to think, so you have to always understand how you can analyze the writing. Okay, I'm going to show another topic today so that we can give real life examples. Just give me one quick second. So how are you doing today, Stella? Can you see this topic?
Yes.
Do you want me to make it a bit bigger?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is like a practice topic. Learning English at school is often seen as more important than learning local languages. These are not taught. Many are at risk of dying it. In your opinion, is it important for everyone to learn English? Should you try to ensure the survival of local languages, and if so, how? Look at this question part, which is really big. Okay, first let us read the topic and try to understand stuff. Let me know what we understand from this topic. Stella, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what's the opinion about this?
Um, yes, of course, I agree with this opinion. Even though the global the global language, I mean English is very important to learn, but local languages are also very important.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you notice that they have shared in often seen as more important learning local language? So, how many paragraphs you think you're going to write? Now, look at that. In your opinion, let me take it together, yeah, so that we can see all. Oh, sorry. In your opinion, one moment. Let me format it. Can you see that? In your opinion, is it important for everyone to learn English? Look at the question number 1. Question number 2, should you try to ensure the survival local languages? And if so, how? So, in the introduction part, whatever you have said, that is the introduction part, okay? So, how we are going to start writing? Let me know once again. The introduction part. We're coming to the body part later.
Mm, it is understandable that some people insist that everyone should study English, um, and even some of them say that learning learning the local languages is not as important as learning English.
But did you use the word insist?
Yes.
Stella, I think it would not be a good word to say, insist in this case. Look at this topic one more time. Learning English at school is often seen as more important. Look, here the highlighted word is important than learning local language. Now, when we use this word important, what indications you can get? Number one, whether really it's necessary for learning or not, okay? And also it says it's comparing with the local language. Did you get the point, Stella? So on the perspective of academic view of this topic, I wouldn't choose insist. I'll choose if you are comparing or if you're giving the importance or necessity, okay, between English learning and learning of local language. Now we can say in your own word, in introduction part.
It is understandable that some people believe that learning language is even more crucial than learning their local language.
That is good start. That's better than before, rather than insisting. But remember, Stella, you can always use insist in the recommendation, which is in conclusion part. Because that's the part disclaimer, you're adding your own thoughts and own ideas how you can give your opinion for the specific topic. well done. In the body part, how many paragraphs do you think you have to write?
In the body part, I should at least write three paragraph.
Right, yes. My understanding is 3 or more if you want to write more. It says give reasons for your answer and any relevant examples from your knowledge or experience. That's very common for every writing topic, okay? Every written topic, when you just... So in the body part, what would be the paragraph 1? The emphasis of learning, okay? Or importance of learning English. Now you can tell why it is important for us to learn English. Stella?
Yes.
So I'm just writing the comment section, body part, 3 paragraphs, minimum 3 paragraphs. So tell me what you're going to write. We're just having a practice, remember that. Because you're not typing, so you have to speak it out loudly.
Considering the modern society, it is inevitable to learn English for everyone, and that is why so many schools set their education course. I mean, and that's why so many schools said learning English is mandatory.
Mm-hmm. Then
Also, even after graduation, the students have sometimes have to work abroad or work in companies that where English proficiency is needed.
mm-hmm. Okay. I'll suggest you when you're describing like this, you can add like this. Firstly, why English language is important. Then secondly, okay, because these are academic words. When you use firstly, secondly, last but not least, or thirdly, fourthly, finally, Stella, are you there?
Yes.
And I was saying, you have started well, but in academic writing, sometimes to prioritize, we can write firstly, secondly, thirdly, etc. Then if you want to add any opinion, how do you write it? In addition or furthermore, okay? Not only, but also these are some, in addition, furthermore. These are some of the expressions, okay? We call linking words. Then when you're giving examples, like we say, for example, for instance, such as, to illustrate, okay? And after that, when you're giving the consequence, like as a result, consequently, therefore, hence, or for this reason, which is why. And when you are stressing on the topic, then you use particularly, specifically, especially, of course, or clearly. Okay, Stella.
Yes.
So what would like to write in the paragraph 2 then? Your paragraph 1 is okay, complete. Now paragraph 2.
Um, on the other hand, it is also very important to learn the local languages so that they should not die, they should not disappear. This is because by preserving local languages, we can keep the various characters of each languages.
Mm-hmm. But how do you learn, or how do you reserve the local language? Think, what are the ideas?
Mm, to practice this, I think schools should play the major role when it comes to preserving the local languages. To be more specific, they can set it mandatory to the local languages aside from learning English.
Okay, then
Mm. Um, in addition, aside from schools, the also the government um, can make some efforts to preserve the local languages. For example, by holding some festivals related to local languages, they can motivate people to use the local languages.
okay, that's pretty cool. I'm just trying to find out if there are any other words we can use to how to preserve local language. Okay, so you can also just tell us. So there are a few other ways local language can be uh, preserved or protected, like recorded, printed documentation or resources. Okay, or you can also suggest that um, when in the local institutes there should be some subjects about the local language classes where teachers will be teaching people both locally and from other cities. Okay, Stella.
Okay.
And the third one would be using digital or social media outlets where you can advertise or market about the local language preservation, and also last but not least, the government's involvement, where they might have archive, a section called archive. Okay, and you can say, you can insist sometimes to speak someone else in local language. Okay, so these are the some ideas, but as a matter of fact, Stella, when you're writing, we need to give a little bit more elaboration or explanation how it can be done. So I believe that it's not only the government, it's everyone's duty to preserve the local language because they are the part of your culture and history. And you can give example. Two examples is very important in this case. Like, have you heard Aborigines, Stella,
No,
or Maori? You haven't. Maori? How about Maori?
I think I've heard about this word in the Disney movie.
All right. Aborigines are those local people with local culture in Australia, and government has wider movements or wider steps to preserve. And Maori people are the indigenous or local people of New Zealand. And in many places there is Maori language, and they use Maori language. Like I remember that Ohara Kiera, that means hello in Maori language. If I'm not mistaken, let me find out. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. I'm trying to find out. Okay, sorry. Kia ora, hello, for example. I'm writing it. Kia ora. It means hello in Maori language. You see, this is one of the ways. Like I made an inquiry to one of the New Zealand universities, and when they responded with the Maori language. Kia ora. Then hello, Mr. Ali. Thanks for contacting us. You see, this is one of the ways when they're sending electronic mail or email to international candidates or students, they're using. So that means this word is by them. So if they send emails like 100 students to different countries, so this word is reaching to 100 countries or 100 different people. So this should be one of the ways that electronically, when you try to preserve the local language, you need to send email and use these words, and you can write in bracket what it means. Okay, that's good. Now, how about paragraph 3? What are you going to compare now?
In in paragraph 3, I should I should elaborate the measures in detail.
And how exactly are you going to do that? Think that this is the exam hall, and because you're not writing, so you can still explain.
Mm. In order to mm, in order to make it happen in real life,
Mhm.
just like I uh, mm, firstly, the schools should uh, well, I think I already explained the measures in the paragraph 2, like setting it mandatory at school and make the local people motivate to use the local language by holding some local festivals and something like that.
Yes, celebrating festivals is another way to preserve the language. Then you can share the history, how it has developed up to now. Good, but Stella, what I'm worried that, as you know, that you have to write 250 words in 40 minutes. That is seems to be challenging sometimes. Uh, in order to write about any topic, it is better to organize your idea and gather, your knowledge from different sources, which will help you writing a good essay. Because writing task 2 is really bit kind of challenging, and that's why I suggest to read it for everyone as much as possible, though there's no guarantee that you might get it from those topics, but yet it will have good practice to read and develop your writing skills. So you're taking the exam is paper based, right? It's not the computer based one, or computer.
No, actually, a computer-based one.
Okay, I'm sorry. So are you practicing by typing? That's my question now.
Not really.
I suggest that you need to practice from now on, because if it is computer
Okay.
based, you have to type the your this writing task 1 and 2 in computer, then you have to submit from there. They'll show you how to do that, but yet, so you have to log into your using your ID and password, and they'll give you the topic, task 1 and task 2, and the time starts, clock, tick tock. Okay, and now you'll have to finish both of them. My suggestion would be you have to finish within 50 minutes, and other 10 minutes you check your work, whatever you have done, like your spelling, your grammar, your accuracy of the sentences, and whether you're writing about the topic or not, coherence, which we say. Okay, and that's very important, that to follow these steps in order to get good marks or required score. Okay, so let's move on this one. What would be your conclusion in this case?
To sum up, even though it's undeniable the importance of learning English, as it is also very crucial for learning local languages, all the people, including students, schools, and the government managers, should make some effort to preserve the local languages.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. And any other opinion?
No,
Okay, so that's really cool that you try to highlight. Hang on a second. Okay, so as you can see, give reasons of your answer, include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience, right? At least 250 years. Okay, another topic is what extent do you agree? Okay, electric vehicles should be allowed what am I writing? Okay, some people think that only look at this topic. Some people think that only electric vehicles should be allowed on the road by 2040. Okay, so do you agree or not?
I don't agree with this opinion.
So look at this. Now you have to write 250 words.
Uh-huh.
Now, the matter is that if someone doesn't know what is electric vehicle, it will be difficult for the person to write it, right, Stella? But my suggestion is no matter how the instructions are written, you can take any position you want. You can agree or disagree, or you can partly agree. Like you said, you disagreed, right? Now, what would be the introduction of this writing? Okay. Hello, Mohammed. Welcome. Ramadan Mubarak, my dear family and friends. May our hearts be drawn closer to our loving. Thank you very much for the special month. So, what do you like to write in the introduction part?
It is obvious that more and more people are using electronic vehicles. Mm, um, uh, along with this, mm, along with this situation, uh, mm, more and more people are also start to recognize uh, the serious serious situation about the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's all.
so that introduction. Okay, now in the body or the main part of this writing, so you said that you are going to disagree, right?
Right.
Okay, so the question: what action do you agree or disagree? What action do you agree or disagree? Okay. All right. So how many paragraphs do you think you have to write in body part?
Or maybe three, I guess.
Mm-hmm. If you write 3 paragraphs, so what would be the paragraph 1? Highlights of electric vehicle
Mm,
or conventional vehicles?
in the first graph, I'd like to uh, describe some others' opinions about, I mean, those who agree with this opinion
Mm-hmm.
and the reasons.
Okay. But how you're going to do that?
Firstly, there are some people uh, who strongly believe that for the environmental problem, the road system should be changed so that all the people can use electronic vehicles on the road. Um,
Mm-hmm.
to be more specific, if any kind of these rules are set, uh, then definitely it would be hard to use other types of vehicles, such as traditional ones. By doing this, they think this this policy would cause positive results only to the environment and to the people at the same time.
Okay. You're doing great. What else?
I think that's all for paragraph 1.
How about paragraph 2 now?
However, from my perspective, I don't think only electronic vehicles should be used on the road, considering other practical issues. The the first one is there are obviously some people who can't use electronic vehicles, considering their tight budget, because as they can't easily change their cars, they are forced to use their old car, even though they already know that what they are doing is not that beneficial to the environment.
Okay. And do you think that if there are many electric vehicles on the road, the accident might go up or go down? You have just impacted the
Yes,
the carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide or air pollution. How about the number of accidents?
actually, I don't know much about electronic vehicles, so I haven't thought about the chances of accidents, but I guess they will be just the same.
Same of what? Previous.
Same as the the traditional cars.
Okay. But if an accident happens for the electric vehicle, now the next question would be, is it more expensive to repair or is it less expensive to repair?
I guess it will be more expensive.
Okay. But it might be aware that each and every vehicle in the Western countries has insurance. So even if an accident takes place, the insurance company will compensate, or sometimes they give you the alternative vehicles. But the insurance cost may be higher in that case for electric vehicles. 0% carbon dioxide emissions, right?
Right.
Mhm. Okay, any other idea?
Not only for the uh, people's budget problem, there are also some practical problem. Mm, that is, especially in countryside, there aren't many facilities that people can charge their electronic vehicles. Mm,
Mhm.
mm. Thinking of these two reasons, it would be it would be not possible to make it mandatory to use electronic cars on the road.
Okay. You can compare another information from the electric vehicles or cars. They don't directly exhaust carbon dioxide fumes, but they're operated by batteries, lithium batteries, you know that, right? So these lithium batteries can sometimes emit some chemical fumes. Okay. And also sometimes people say that the electric vehicles, the energy source, which can have a negative impact on our health, human health, and the environment as well. Okay.
Okay.
Any other point? Do you know that which country has first started an electric vehicle without the driver? Any idea?
I guess that will be America.
Not exactly. The first electric or robotic car was tested and was successful in Australia a few years back.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so these are just like practice only, and I think Stella, it will be my suggestion for you to choose topics and find some topics from the internet randomly and start writing and practicing. Remember, the more you are comfortable in typing, it will be better on the exam day how well you're going to answer, because as you might be aware that it's a time control exam once again. You'll get 60 minutes, you have to write task 1 and task 2. Task 1 would be easier for you because that's a graph and there are all the data information. Because the way you speak, the way they're explaining, it seems to me task 1 will be very easy for you. But task 2 could be challenging or difficult depending on the topic. Because if you're not aware of the topic, about the data or any primary knowledge, then it could be really hard, or like a difficult situation, win-win situation. Okay, Stella?
Okay.
But are you practicing every day or not? That's my question at the moment.
I've been practicing for writing tests, but I'm not doing that like every day.
Okay. You practice it, but you said it don't practice, don't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
No, that's okay. You don't have to practice every day, but it's better to practice at least 2 to 3 times a week so that you are comfortable about writing. Okay, I'm going to show you something. Give me 1 quick second. If you remember, I said there are some linking words in writing task 2. Like when you're listing your answer thoughts, we use firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, lastly, last but not least, finally. When you're adding information with your thought, then you can write like this: in addition, additionally, furthermore, moreover, also, not only this, but also that, as well as. Okay. And when is the time for examples? You can write like, for example, one clear example is, or for instance, such as, namely, illustrate, and in other words. And when something comes as a result or consequences, you can add as a result, Okay, consequently, therefore, thus, hence. So, for this reason, then when you're highlighting a point or stressing on a topic, particularly, in particular, specifically, especially, obviously, of course, clearly, and when you are con- concessions and contrast, when you are contrasting, it means comparing. However, nevertheless, despite, in spite of, still, on the other hand, you have used it. I've noticed that you have used the however as well. That's cool. By contrast or in comparison, alternatively, another opinion could be when you're writing reasons and causes, because, owing to, due to, since, as, and in the conclusion part, you can use this expression. In my opinion, I think, I believe, I admit, in my view, I concur, I agree, I guess. In British English, we use very often I reckon. Okay, concluding linkers like in conclusions, to conclude, to sum up, to reiterate. And these words can be used also in general writing, remember that. Okay. um any other questions?
No.
Okay, so remember to practice everyday, please, Stella. And I was
Uh-huh.
expecting that you'd send some of your writing or written topics to me so that I can have a look. If you have considered to send, any of your writing, you know, uh, you can send it to me in a Word format to my email address. Okay,
Okay.
so that you can check it. And honestly speaking, many of my our learners have sent their writings, and I checked and gave them feedback. That really helped a lot of those students or learners. Remember that if you're not sure what you're writing sometimes, whether it is uh, contextful or not, whether it is uh, good enough or not to get good score. And I gave them an initial score as well with the feedback that, oh, this part may be developed, or these are the weaker sides of your writing. But you know what, one of the students said to me, teacher, I don't want to send it because I'm scared of writing. Then I said, no, that's the wrong idea. If you don't send me a writing, then how I'm going to check, how I'm going to give you feedback, how you're going to know that which part of writing you should develop and focus. Okay, anything else?
Mm. Actually, I'm scared to I'm scared writing or an essay, but I will try that as well to your email.
Yeah, don't be scared, Stella. I said to you, it's just a practice. And if you write and send it to me, I'll be happy to check it and give you feedback, which will help you a lot. I can guarantee that. Because the students who got the feedback from me, they said, oh, okay, I'm focusing those parts where they need to. And this is one of the impacts of learning, Stella. If I know my weaker side, I should focus on it. And similarly, and likewise, if you know something you need to focus or develop, just focus on it. Don't be scared, and don't worry about mistakes. Remember that mistakes are a part of learning tools. You know? That gives you motivation, especially for me. If I make mistakes, that mistakes give me always motivation and inspiration to move ahead. Learn it from the mistakes and move ahead. And remember that really a crucial factor for all of us to learn from mistakes and move on. And I'm sure our greatest scientist Einstein said, I couldn't learn if I wouldn't make mistake. This is his comment. And I do agree with him. I if you know the history of my English grammar, up to class 7 or year 7 in my country. I always got very low mark, poor mark. I just passed very tight way, and my parents and brothers were not happy. So I learned grammar in year 7 or class 7, and after that it was okay, fantastic for me. I hardly made any grammatical errors and mistakes, and also in writing as well as you know in test exams. Okay, Stella, anything else
Okay.
you'd like to discuss or talk? We've got around 2.5 minutes.
No.
Like, I'll suggest you another thing. From the internet, there are some sites where you can sit for mock test or sample test. I believe that, and if you sit for that and get a good practice, would be really helpful for you to remove your that shyness or reluctance. Please remember that the more you write, you'll be more confident. It doesn't matter there would be grammatical mistakes or there would be you know conceptual mistake, but you should write it regardless. Okay,
Okay.
and I'm sure that you'll be doing great this time. What was your score last time? Was it 6, did you say, or 6.5?
Uh, you mean in writing part?
Yes,
In writing part, I got only 6.0.
6, only 6. Okay, but if you keep practicing writing, you know it will be helpful for you. You might get 7.5, you never know, depending on the quality of your writing, your sentence structures, and always please make sure in writing you can use compound sentences. Okay, Stella, if you remember, compound sentences are very much crucial to get good score in IELTS exam in both speaking and writing. So people who are listening to me, please study compound sentences, how you can write compound sentences, how you can be a good writer. Remember that hard work is the solution in this case. you know uh, Not everyone is born with talent, but by hard work you can change your life. By hard work you can be successful in your life.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you very much, Stella, for
Thank you,
joining.
teacher.
You're very welcome. You know my email address, don't you?
Yes, I know.
Okay. uh, if you want to send it in a Word format. Do not send the PDF file. I'll not be able to check PDF file.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you very much, Stella, and everyone who are watching. By the way, this month, April, is the third year anniversary of Hello launch app. In 2019, on this month, we launched the app. Now we have come through 3 years. We're going to celebrate all together from today. Thank you very much. I'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.